Back at it again. 1 week only. Let's do this. I'm with Jazz, friend, West Ham fan, lifelong West Ham fan, collector of programs and memorabilia. Do you know what I mean? Jazz, how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm quite happy, mate. Yeah, relieved. Season's over, and we kind of got into Europe. That was the objective, but then we got a bit greedy when you look at the table, and we were just 2 points away from ultimate glory. So close, yet just missed out, didn't we? For various reasons, but pleased in the end. At least we got it in the end. You know, the West Ham way, we would have finished 8th, mate. But yeah, I'll take that. Yeah.
Do you know what though? In the grand scheme of things, it's a good achievement either way. I know what you're saying, though. Like 2 points away from Champions, or 3 points away from Champions League.
Yeah.
There's games this season where we've sort of let go. Like the Arsenal game comes to mind massively, and other games. But what we'll do, we'll get into it, Jazz, and we'll talk about it as we go through, mate. But let's start off in between the sticks. And this man, Mr. Lucas Fabianski.
Fabianski. Okay, so I believe the format is out of 10, is it?
Out of 10, mate. That's correct. Okay. Yeah.
So Fabianski, I've given him a 7, really. So he's been good. Certainly not good as his first season, which was remarkable, where he was Hammer of the Year, I think. Nearly 9, 10 out of 10. So not quite to that standard, but it's been steady. It's been okay. He's been injured a couple of times, but managed to come back fairly quickly. So yeah, give him 7, but we do need to look at that position in the summer, I feel. As up front, I think those two positions are quite key. I mean, Randolph's okay, but not the answer. I think we need to get someone in really who's going to have that position for the next sort of 5-6 years at least after Fabianski, I think. Yeah,
I agree, mate. Saying about Randolph, mate, he did come in this season. He has done a couple of games. He played against Man City away when Fab went down. He come on against West Brom away when Fab went down. What's your overall assessment of Randolph, mate?
5. Yeah, just 5. Yeah,
standard 5. Yeah.
Yeah, standard 5. I don't think he's got it in him to take over Fabianski. I don't think he's that good. And then one game he was good, one game a little bit up in the air. Just 5 really, and he could be one of the ones that could be leaving. Perhaps I think him and Martin. If we get them one in, and then you got the youth guy. What's his name? The guy we haven't seen, the goalie in the youth.
Nathan Trott.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, but I'm not hearing good things. But
he's not ready, mate. He's far from ready. He needs to go out on loan for a thing. But 5 for Randolph.
Yeah, 5 for Randolph, mate.
This man, first season at the club, signed this year, 5.4 million. Come in. He's been phenomenal, man, hasn't he?
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. So he was kind of my player of the season. And he's had such an effect on everyone, including me. And when we go back, I'm going to put his name on my back of my shirt, mate. I'll rate him that much. I just like really good fullbacks, and it's been many years, I think. Yeah. I mean, Creswell equally done well, but we haven't had many years where we've had good fullbacks, really. And he's managed to play well as a fullback, play well as a kind of a wing back as well. He's probably not missed a game, if I'm right. He's kind of 10 out of 10 in effort, and he's settled in. Don't forget, he's come from another country. I'm not sure how good his English was when he arrived, and then we have the lockdown, so you're not allowed to go out anywhere. Doesn't seem to faze him. He's always got a smile on his face. Fans will love him. So for me, it's 10. It's 10 out of 10 mate, for me. Yep, I can't give him any lower than that. It's incredible. Even to the effect where people like Carragher are talking about him in their team. No one really looks at our players, but when the Super League players and pundits look at him and mention him, that's saying something, isn't it? Yeah, everyone's noticed him. Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, mate. I absolutely 100% agree with you. A lot of people that I've done this with give 9s and 8s and all that. I think he's been absolutely first class for the money that we paid for him. Like 5 point. Like, in your opinion, Jazz, quickly. Now you've seen a lot of players at West Ham, especially right backs. You've seen Tim Breaker and going back further than that. Where would you put him as, like, in the category of the best right backs that you've seen at West Ham?
Yeah, obviously Ray Stewart was the king.
Ray Stewart, yeah.
Was the king. Tim Breaker was very steady 7 out of 10 every game. One of those underappreciated players like Trevor Morley, Jeff Pike. So a lot of time for Breaker. Glenn Johnson, I was so excited when he came, but unfortunately we lost him after, 7 games?
Yeah.
It's one of those things, mate. You know, the timing of the Chelsea Russian money, he went. So Glenn would have been, after Ray Stewart, Glenn Johnson would have been the best. After that, we had Repka, who was more famous for doing, the fouling and that type of thing rather than playing well. But I think since Ray Stewart, I'd say Kafal is he's looking good, mate. He's up there.
Yeah.
He's up there. Yeah. He's up there, mate. Yeah.
I'll move on, mate. I think he's been top class. But this man, the man whose place he took, Mr. Ryan Fredericks. What's your thoughts, mate?
6 out of 10, mate. 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think he's a good lad. He tries. And David Moyes has managed to get a couple of good performances out of him. But for me, for where we are, and especially where we finished, we're a top 6 club. And to go onto the next level, we're going to have to let go people like Fredericks. I'm afraid he's not quite up to it. But yeah, good lad, just not clever enough or guile enough. And if I'm right, is he perhaps hitting 30? Is he a couple of years older than Kafal? Yeah, it's just not featured much, I don't think, not really made an impact. Steady in some games, certainly. But yeah, 6 out of 10, mate, for me.
6 out of 10 for Fredericks.
Yeah.
Jazzy's got 6 out of 10 for Fredericks and out the door. Let's move on to.
I think we've got to be fairly ruthless. We can't carry players anymore, and I think not for me. And he has his fair share of injuries as well, mate. You know.
Yeah. This man, Mr. Ben Johnson. I feel for this man. I don't know about you, Jazz, and I spoke to you and I've become friends with you over doing this YouTube stuff. But this bloke's been playing in the wrong position all season, and I know he needs to go out on loan and he needs to do this. But what's your rating for him, mate?
Is it possible to do halves or is it straight numbers?
No, straight numbers, mate. Yeah,
because I'm fluctuating between 6 and 7. I'm being quite harsh on him, but I'm going to be harsh and give him 6. I'm going to be harsh. Yeah. I think he's not lived up to what I was hoping he'd be. I think he's gone missing in some games. He certainly scored against Brighton, which was the highlight. But if we're playing someone big, and I'm not sure about him. He's still got to show me a bit more, I think. But like I was saying in the past, because he's homegrown, I certainly would not get rid of him like Fredericks. I mean, you can tell he's a good kid. He'll learn. But for me, like I said, I know I'm being harsh, but he's not featured much either. I don't think he's had double-digit games, if I'm right. I don't know. 6, mate, because I think he's just got to hit the mark a bit more for me. I think. I mean, you can't talk about. I mean, him and Rice must be the same age, aren't they? Are they?
Yeah, I think he's a bit younger. I think he's a year younger than Rice.
Oh wow!
But I think so. Yeah.
He is a good kid, but I think, like you said, on loan in the Championship.
Yeah,
we'll do him a lot of good. I think. Yeah.
So 6 out of 10 for Mr. Johnson.
It's harsh. I know that, but I just felt that way.
Yeah. Another player though, who 18 months ago, 2 years ago, Jazz, everyone wanted out the door. Said he wasn't good enough.
Yeah, including me.
Yeah. And this man Cresswell has had a blinder this season. What's your thoughts on him, mate?
8. Yeah, I'm going to give him 8. Yeah. I think. Perhaps we've forgotten the form he had up to Christmas, where he still is. I think he was one of the leading assist makers from defence, above people like Digne and Alexander and those guys at Liverpool. Amazing, totally revamped himself under David Moyes and looked a lot younger, sharper, crisper. Delivery was world class, which kind of Antonio and people like that were saying. That people forget, like Dawson scored, and Sky were asking Dawson, "God, you're getting a lot of headers in, mate." You said it's because of the delivery that's coming in from Cresswell. That's the reason. So, surprised me, mate. And again, a few niggly injuries, but he did come back again fairly quickly. And don't forget, he's kind of like our vice captain as well, isn't he? He's been there a long time, one of the elders now. And a much deserved 8 for Cressy. Yeah, well done, Cressy, coming back in, mate. Yeah.
Do you think it's important though, Jazz, this summer that we do buy a left back? we have to get a left back at this club, because it seemed like last season he gets injured and we're all over the place defensively.
I think we need cover for both sides, don't we? We need a cover for
Yeah.
Kafal. But this is a good thing when you don't have too much money, because David's then obviously looked at what we've got and try to coach him to. That's the flip side. Otherwise, if we had a bit more money, like you said, he would have gone and we would have bought in a 30 million. And I can't see that new player with an impact like Crazy. So sometimes it kind of helps, doesn't it? If you improve what you've got instead of just easily getting a checkbook out. And because you've seen Tottenham, they bought that Doherty guy from Wolves, being a complete waste. I'm not blaming him.
Yeah.
I'm just blaming buying a player who's been season on season good at Wolves and kind of ruining the guy. Do you know what I mean? And guy from Benfica, you see what other clubs will do. They just, you buy players and you think, what have you done to the guy? You know, so
basically our hard work in the end pays off, and that's what's happened with Cresswell. But this man, Jazz, he's been here a long time, Masuaku, and I don't know how many more times I've got to say it with this geezer, but he's been here a long time and he can't defend, and he's got good feet. Now, give me a rating, Jazz.
I'm going to be nice to him because I know before the first injury he was a regular, so I've given him a mighty 7. For the first half of the season before he got injured, and he did learn. He didn't give away a couple of penalties. From obviously the Salah one he gave away, I absolutely went nuts that time. And then afterwards he learned just not to dive in and just be good.
Yeah.
And again, I think David's made him look half decent, patched him up a bit. But again, long term, he's just one of those players where you just want to see it more on a long term, consistent basis before you're 100% happy with him. But every West Ham fan watching him, we're all crapping it when he's on the pitch. You don't know what he's going to do. He's probably going to handball. He's going to take a player down in the box. He's going to do a back pass that allows a striker to get. So he's still. But to be fair, he's had a half decent, okay season. Yeah. Give him a 7, mate. Yeah.
Jazz is back on the run. That's what I'm going to say on that one. Mr. Craig Dawson. Jazz, let's be honest, if we go back to the start of the season when we signed Craig Dawson on loan from Watford, everyone wasn't impressed with the ambition of the club. This geezer's come in and let's be honest, he was a full fifth choice defensive cover and now he's a starter. What a good season he's had.
Yeah, because I can't do halves, it's so tricky, isn't it? Because I'll give him a 7, mate. I'll give him a 7. Yeah, because he only started to make his mark in January, the Southampton game, was it? Perhaps? Yeah. So I can't give him as high as Cressy, for example, and other defenders I'm going to look at later on. I'll give him a 7. Good first season, become permanent. Bit of a leader out there, very vocal. And he is very good with Souček on corners. You know, he does, even though you can see he's got a bit careless with Everton, I think it was, wasn't it? It was a great delivery from Benrahma, and he just messed it up. And then again in the last game, Southampton, before we scored the first goal, he again didn't quite get it on target. But at least he's there, and he's experienced. He's a good team player, and I'm sure he's good around the group. So he's a good professional, which David's buying. You know, he's not going to be a troublemaker, and he's kind of British, so he knows the Premier League. So I give him 7. And what was it, 2 million, I think, wasn't it? Something 2.2
million.
Oh, bloody hell, mate. Yeah, that's I can't bloody buy anything for that. Yeah.
No, that's right, mate. But this man, not one who's been here a hell of a long time, this man gets better with age. And he's another one. And I do say this quite openly before I let you have your rating of him, Jazz. West Ham, in the last sort of 2 years, 2 of our best players were at the door that no one wanted at this club. And they've sort of come back a hell of a lot stronger, Cresswell, and now this man, Bonner. What do you think of him this season, mate?
Yeah, I'm going to give him an 8. Yeah. Would have been 9 if he'd kind of not missed those games. And I've been so impressed with him. I'm going to buy one of those Ogfather shirts. You know, I'm going to buy one. I was looking at it earlier this afternoon, deciding on the colour. I think he's really good. And even when he come back from injury, he looked really, really slick, assured of himself, and was in the running for Hammer. I voted for him last season, Hammer of the Year, ahead of Rice, actually. And this season, because last season, if you imagine it was a hard job. I mean, because the defenders next to him weren't quite up to his level, and he had to organise all of them in the back line, and especially with Dupe, you know what I think of him, and he has to look after him, make sure in line, knows what he's doing. But him and Dawson have formed a really good partnership together. My only worry is that I don't know how much pace both of them have for next season together, and they're on the wrong side of 30. So we do need someone young in, but that's for someone. So I'll give him an 8, mate. Yeah, really, really good. And unfortunately, the injury kind of messed it up for him a little bit, really. Yeah.
Yeah. You talking about Diop? Here he is.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan, I'm afraid. I know he scores the odd goal, and again, he's a good lad. You can tell he's a quite funny guy around the training ground and does all these jokes. When you see the videos, he's always lifting Masuaku off the ground, and all these little funny things he does, and gets along with Ben Rama really well. They're both French speaking, as you know. But 6 for me, I don't think he's. Yeah. He came with such high hopes. He smashed it in the first season. And I thought, oh my God, Man United are going to buy him now. We ain't going to be able to get hold of him. He's going to go. I don't know what's happened, mate. He's not really been injured that much. But
is next season, in your opinion, Jazz, the most important season of his career with West Ham? Because if he doesn't perform next year, and he's going to have games next year, remember, he's going to be in the Europa League, League Cup, FA Cup. Like this man will play a lot of games next season. If he don't perform next year, do you think he'll be sold?
I don't think David Moyes is a fan. You can tell because he prefers Balbuena even ahead of him sometimes. And if you don't, and Balbuena was in the team for a long period. Duke's only come in recently, so next season's crucial for him. We signed him 3 years ago now, was it? So I don't know how long he's got left. 2 years. He's still young. He can learn, but he doesn't seem to have. He's not a very clever defender, shall I say? He can't read the game. Yeah. And often when the guy loses him, and Duke's nowhere to be seen. And that's why I was saying when we were conceding goals, it always looked like it was Dawson's mistake because Dawson's trying to clear his mess up, whereas Duke is on the halfway line trying to score. There's a couple of times when Dawson's on his own and he'd gone missing. So his kind of man marking, his reading of the game. His positional sense is not good, mate, for the Premier League. Yeah.
Right, we'll move on to this man, Mr. Balbuena. Jazz, I want you to give a rating for me, mate, because he's now left the club, or he's leaving the club, of his overall time at West Ham.
I'll give him a 7. I'll be kind. I'll give him a 7.
Yeah.
I'll be kind. He came in. No one knew who he was. And I believe we bought him with a loose change that was left over from Pellegrini's big splash. He kind of looked in his bag. There was a few 5p's, 10p's in there. He threw him a Balbuena. Can you speak Spanish, mate? Yeah, because that was a big criteria, Pellegrini. You speak Spanish? Yeah. Okay, come along, mate. And he's a Paraguay regular international who was playing in the Brazilian league, I believe, with kind of, was it Corinthians or one of them? I forgot now. Yeah. So, I mean, he's good. He's 29, 30 now. And again, good professional. A bit slow at the beginning to settle in, but then he got hold of himself and then he did well again, I think. So, he'll be looked back and done a tidy job. Yeah, 7. Yeah.
That's fair enough, mate.
He's all right.
This man, captain, leader, world class. Say no more. What do you think, Jazz, on his rating for this season?
The problem is that the standards that he sets are so high. That's the problem. So for me, I've given Kufal 10, and I didn't want to give anyone else a 10. I'll give Rice a 9, purely because, and last season it would have been near 10. So it's just a standard. He's regularly 8 out of 10, and we never hardly say man of the match. We don't talk about him much. It's because we're just so spoiled and so used to it with him. He rarely puts a foot wrong. The only thing, as you know, he just needs to add more goals to his game, really. And then he scored in the Southampton game, and I think he's really happy. It's long overdue, and he's got to practice his penalties a bit more, doesn't he?
I agree. What would it have to be for him to get a 10? Is it just to score goals, in your opinion?
I think so, perhaps. Yeah, just score more goals, mate. And don't forget, he wasn't injured for that long when you think about it. Was it 6 weeks? I don't know.
6 weeks,
Yeah, so that didn't help. And that's why Kufal, because he hasn't missed a minute, and he's come from another country. He's 28. He's got no pedigree behind him. And to come in at the Premier League like that in lockdown, and I've seen, and people have said, we've seen him at bus stops. He catches buses when travelling around. There's all these funny stories about him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just wanted Kofal to have that special place at the top. And Rice has got many years to get 9s and 10s. And, yeah, I'll give him a 9. Yeah, hopefully score more goals and have more confidence to attack a bit more. I know it's difficult because Souček goes forward a lot. I don't know how they're going to tackle that issue next season. Are they going to swap? Or Moyes is probably saying, no, Souček, I want you every time there's a corner, I want you in there. That means Rice is not going to go in the box then for me. Penalties, I'm still not sure because if I remember, the one before this, or certainly one this season, he missed and he was retaken, wasn't it? I think. Something just rings a bell that there's encroachment in the box where he did miss it, but then VAR said someone's, and that one shaved the post as well.
I think it was Sheffield United. I think that was Sheffield United.
I've got a feeling he missed that one and he hit the post again, shaved the other side of it. So he's really getting accurate, but he's aiming at that post a bit too much. So I don't know if he needs to hit it through the middle a bit more. But what I like about him that he hits it like the old penalty takers. All these like Bruno 2-3 steps and what you guys are doing, mate. Just put your foot through it, pick a corner, and do it. But 9 for me. Yeah, 9 for me. Yeah, for him.
9 for you, mate. Now he's potato salad partner, Mr. Thomas Souček. Now this is a man, Jazz. Don't forget this is his first full season with West Ham. Like he come on loan last January. He was here. He helped to stay up. This is his first real season, full season with West Ham. He's been amazing, mate.
Yeah, and ever since sort of David Moyes come in, the players we're buying, touchwood, are not really injury prone, really. So you look at all these players we're going to talk about later on as well, and Kofal and this guy. They're really strong people. And for him, I'll give him 9. I'll give him 9, mate. First full season. I think he's got double-digit goals, perhaps 10 or 11 in the league.
Yeah.
Done really well and not missed. Actually, probably hasn't missed a game. Has he this season? Has he?
I think he's missed 1 minute.
All right.
1 minute, and that was the sending off against Fulham. He played every other minute of the game.
Yeah, I give him 9, mate. I can't ask for more from it. And alongside Rice, I think them two, even people like Jason Cundy are saying that them two in the middle is perhaps, if not, is one of the best midfield partnerships in Europe. Forget the Premiership. That's a good.
Let me ask you something though, Jazz. I want to ask you this though. When Rice wasn't there, Souček wasn't the same player. Like in all the time that when Souček was with Noble, when he was with Lanzini, he just didn't look the same type of player. Is that a concern for you that Rice makes him play better, and when Rice isn't there, Thomas Souček isn't the same player, so to speak?
Not really. I think another good question would be, we got to see if Souček gets injured, how Rice plays without him. I think Rice will struggle as well. And then the other thing is that anyone will struggle alongside Noble, you know. It's not easy, you know. We don't really have a good cover in midfield, and we just hit that rocky form where he wasn't the only one who was kind of a bit dodgy. Antonio was missing chances, and actually wasn't even in the team. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that. He did lose. Yeah, he was passing a couple of times and that kind of thing, but not for me at the moment. So, like you said, he's got enough points in the bag where we can allow him the odd sort of 6, 7 a game, perhaps. But I think Rice would struggle without him. I think them two really do good together. It's just that we don't have perhaps a good squad, and I think was it Lanzini, perhaps. Yeah, we'll see what happens next season. Perhaps for now, Lanzini can plug the gap, but. I don't want to be too worried about it. I mean, it's a long season, and you're going to hit that dodgy patch, aren't you? A little bit, aren't you? A lot of games coming thick and fast. Yeah,
100%, mate. Now, this man, I've got Robert Snodgrass. Now, he left in January, Jazz. He signed for us, went out on loan, then he come back. I want you to give me an overall rating on Snodgrass's time at West Ham.
It's like Balbuena 7, mate, for me.
Yeah,
maybe like Balbuena. He had a very difficult start. Some of it not his fault. He was kind of brought in by Bilic. Then Bilic said, "What side do you play, mate?" And like, what the hell's going on here? And he wasn't treated very well. And then went on loan to Villa, I think. Then they wanted to keep him. Then he came back again, a guy with a smile on his face, hardworking. I think the fans had a soft spot for him. 7 out of 10, because you got to consider he was coming towards the end of his career. And I'm a big fantasy football sort of team player. So I remember him always being in my team when he was at Leeds, Hull, and people like that. You know, he's got a good free kick on him. So perhaps that side of it we didn't see because he's a specialist free kick taker and corner taker and set piece. So perhaps we didn't see too much of that while he was at West Ham. Not too many goals, but apart from that, he gave 100%, willing to put a shift in. And I think you can tell that there was a good reason to let him go because he hasn't featured for West Brom for injuries, I think, or one or two other reasons. So 7th, like Balbuena, good pro. Obviously not his peak coming in, but he done okay job, I think. Yeah.
7 out of 10 for Mr. Snodgrass. Right, this man. Mr. Mark Noble. Next season's his last season with us. He's been here a long time. He's been through thick and thin. He's come in when Rice was injured. He's played as a number 10 this season, which I've never seen in my life. What's your thoughts, Jazz, on Mr. Mark Noble?
Oh, this is difficult again. I'm stuck between 6 and 7, to be honest. I don't know. When Rice was out, I got to hold my hands up. He done his job, you know. He done his 7. He done his 7s out of 10. But then at the beginning, it was 6 out of 10s because it looked like his legs had gone. He was all over the place, and then he just never got back into it. So I'll surprisingly give him. Well, how many games has he played? When I look at Balbuena and Masuaku, I've got to give him a 6, mate. I'm sorry, I've got to give him a 6. Not enough impact, not his own fault. Came in for 3-4 games, I think. Been okay. 6 for me, mate. Because again, the best is long gone, and he'll be all right for the odd game, you know, especially Europa coming up. But certainly not a starter anymore. You know, I don't know how old he's. 33 now, is he? 34? I don't know.
34, I think he is.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, he's just there as an ambassador, good guy around the ground, and just to rally the troops a bit, and perhaps still help out on the penalties. Really, so just 6, mate. It's not. Yeah, even he'll admit that he's not been involved much this season. Just
Mark Noble gets a 6. Now this man, Mr. Manuel Lanzini. Jazz, let's be honest. Yeah, we all know he's not the same player as he used to be. But when he has come in this season, he's done. I won't say he's done as bad as people will say. Like if they're respecting Manuel Lanzini of 5 years ago, then they're deluded a little bit. But he did score that rocket against Spurs and completed the comeback. What's your assessment on his season?
No, mate? 6, mate. Not for me.
Yeah.
No, his goal was good. And one good performance 5 games ago as a centre mid. That's it, mate. It's not good enough for me.
Yeah.
No, he would have gone in the summer for me. Moyes is trying it, but saying that we can't get much out of him. And those people think he can provide cover for Rice and Souček. They don't know what they're talking about. He's an injury-prone guy, James. Yeah. He can't. He's injured now again. He's like Antonio. He can't keep players like that. He's one of our, should be our major player, captain material. He should run the game. Everything should flow through him, you know, like one of those sort of Barcelona players that used to be keep it ticking, you know, like Silva. He should be our David Silva, but he's long gone, mate. You know, another good lad, lives locally, doesn't want to move, family is settled. Pochettino took a chance on him at PSG, didn't quite off. No, not for me, mate.
How much would you sell him for, Jazz? If you was to sell this man, right?
They tried, they couldn't. They tried, mate. No one wanted him. No, he's been on sale for a long time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Why would anyone buy him? Because I don't think medically he can play every week. And I don't know what you do with these players. No, you can't pick him because you know he's going to get injured. You know, he's just injured, or he's just not going to last 90 minutes for me in the modern game. I think it's going to be hard. Yeah. I mean, the modern game is people like Rice and Souček, these Olympian athletes, box to box, strong people. I don't think he's quite got it in him anymore, mate. He'll just get knocked around. I mean, obviously, in between that, he'll show his skill. He'll get the odd goal, the odd couple of passes threaded through, and then we get all too excited again. Oh no, don't sell him! No, look at him. You can't. You've got to be ruthless and say, if he doesn't give us 30 games next season, 7 out of 10, there's no room for him, mate. You know, just carrying him. I don't know. We gave him a huge 6-year contract. I don't know. I think there's still a couple of years to go on that, so. We just got to suffer with that, and we have tried to put him on loan. Trust me, just no one wants to pick him up. Really, I think, just
6 out of 10 for you.
It is what it is, mate. It is what it is. Yeah. It is what it is.
Jazz looks downtrodden on old Lanzini, but everyone in the chat, evening all. I will get to your comments, so don't worry. But we've just got done a Lanzini 6 out of 10. Right. This is a polarising character for me, Jazz. Mr. Pablo Fornals. For me, personally, this man needs to score more goals. If he's playing as an attacking midfielder, he needs to contribute more and assist more. What's your thoughts, mate?
Again, I was going to give him 7.5, but you don't allow that, so I'm going to give 7, mate, for me.
Yeah.
Because I think we keep forgetting how much he has frustrated us. He certainly, and that's the thing. When players end the season well, we forget, and then we give them 8s. But I think he was pissing, including me, the chances he was missing. And in there, obviously, out of 5, one of the games is really good, and then we get excited. But in between, I mean, obviously, on the back of the Southampton game, we're again like, oh my God, why can't you bloody show that side of your game every game more regularly?
Yeah.
You know, if you add that to your bloody game, you'll be 8 out of 10 every game. You know.
Yeah.
But he's certainly a hard worker. He's one of David's favourite players. First name on the team sheet. But I don't know how you finish those goals at Southampton. We've seen him miss easier ones than that, haven't we? You know.
Yeah.
Spurs away.
Spurs away missed for 1 yard.
Week in, week out. So for me, it should have been an 8, but you've just had a good end to the season, and in between, for me, I mean, running around and working hard is a big thing, but I just like to see a little bit more than that. I think.
What's his best position, Jazz? In your opinion, right now, I've seen this bloke play a left winger, a DM. I've seen players at number 10. In your opinion, what's his best position for West Ham?
I think it's just that when we play that 4-2-3-1, he's one of the 3, isn't he, alongside Lingard and whoever else is going to get picked, Bowen or Ben Rama, whatever. Just one of those. I think he floats around. I don't want to see him as a centre mid defensive. I don't think so. I think he's tiny, isn't he? But he certainly works hard. That's how he gets his foot on the ball. He can break up play. Yeah, and that's what David likes about him. I just like to. But the problem with him is it's his own fault. He gets into the box and then he fucks it up. So it's his own fault. If he never got into the box, I think we'd give him 8 because we think, oh yeah, he's worked hard. He wins the ball, then he gives it to someone. So he would never get into trouble. But what he does, he gets into those positions, and then someone's got to sit down in the summer and work on his finishing. I think so. Yeah. But I'm only saying it because I know down there's a much better player than 7. He can get an 8 next season. Yeah. And I'm happy to say I would have got rid of him again 2 years. I was that peed off with this guy. I would have got rid of him. I would have got rid of Krezi. I would have got rid of Ogbonna. So that's me. Yeah. That's why I'm not a bloody manager. But 7 for me. But he should have got an 8, and he'll look back and say there is room for improvement in parts of his game. I think. Yeah. Yeah,
I agree, mate. Do you know what? I'm just 100% with you there, Jazz. This man, Mr. Jared Bowen. Now, this man he's the one who's disappointed me the most this season. I was expecting more from Jared this season, if I'm honest. He started off like a train. He got missing through the middle part of the season, and towards the end, he picked up towards the end. How do you assess him this season, mate?
Well, I'm a big Bowen fan. Big Bowen fan. I love him because it's just a hard work and he does get goals, but then, like you said, this season he's perhaps underachieved. When he came, like you said, he started like Lingard, didn't he? He done really well, and I think he's a good player. I think I'll give him a 7, but he'll look at himself and he'll say that I should have got an 8. So I think David took him out the firing line for a bit, and that probably because don't forget he got to a point where, again, touch wood, he doesn't get injured, and he was all the game, wasn't it? He's playing 90 minutes every week, and sometimes you just need to pull them out for their own benefit, you know. And I think hopefully we'll be able to rotate the squad next season a bit more, and then everyone will look fresh, you know, something that Man City do and other teams do. So just good lad. Would never want to lose him. I love him to bits. Good age, very strong. Doesn't get injured, and a couple of times he did play that sort of striker role quite good, didn't he, up front? So
I really do, mate. I think the striker role suits him because when he was at Hull, that's where he scored his goals. He was running behind. The only thing with Bowen that he isn't good at is in the air. Like whereas Antonio in the air can sort of bully defenders, Bowen is non-effective in that way. He's too lightweight, too small. So Yeah, I agree with you there, mate. 100%. He has disappointed me a little bit this season. I expected a bit more from him, if I'm honest. But this man
Yeah.
hasn't. This man hasn't disappointed me. This man come in January, top class for 10 games, went missing for the last 5. Talk to me, Jez. What's your
This
assessment?
when he came and what fans were saying is same as when Moyes came in, which
Yeah,
means you're disrespecting and forgetting what a class that person is, you know?
yeah,
And that's the thing with people. When he came, I knew this is a good signing, mate. You know, he's an England player. Then I
yeah,
quickly looked on YouTube and I thought, what the hell? He scored in Europa finals, Charity Shield matches, England at tournaments.
yeah.
And people just quickly like, oh, you haven't heard
But
from him
was
in a
you
year and a half.
surprised how good he was, though, Jez? Like, was you? Let's be honest. Like, no one would have respected that sort of impact, like scoring 2 on his debut. And
No, certainly not.
yeah,
Certainly
mate.
not.
Yeah,
No, certainly not. Especially because when he came in, I thought the way David Moyes is, he's going to make him train for about 3 weeks before,
yeah,
because you know he wants a person to be a certain fitness before they're allowed anywhere near the team. But bloody hell, he played from the beginning against
yeah,
Villa, and he suddenly became a small fish from Man United to our star player. You know,
yeah,
and everyone's bouncing off him, everyone's laughing, giggling away. And I'll give him a 9, mate. Yeah, he can't do
yeah,
any more than that. I mean, it got to a
yeah,
point. If he didn't have those 3-4 quiet games, that people are saying he's going to be hammer of the year, mate. You know, that kind of
yeah,
thing. So I'll give him a
yeah.
9. You can't do bigger impact than what he's done. And he's one of those things where he looks like he belongs there, doesn't he? He fits in really well. And
I
it's
agree.
hard. And he should sit down and think. Sometimes you can move anywhere. Look at Hazard at Real Madrid. Look at Coutinho at Barcelona. They look like lost chickens, mate, because
Yeah,
it's hard to find a club that works for you, that you're a good match for. You know, that's why players should think about. Like, look, I was talking about Matthew Letizia the other day. That what a great player, and he's explaining to Gary Neville why he never left Southampton, because he said it. Loyalty. I owed them something for taking the chance on me, and
yeah,
and I love it there. They love me. I love them. I love the fans. And sometimes, especially in what's happening in the modern game, the greediness of people and Lingard should think and say, God, I've found so much happiness here after
yeah.
2 years of hell, and London's a great city to live in. Bring your kids up in. I'm just being a little bit sort of. I'm a southerner anyway. I'm going to say London's better than Manchester anyway, but. So it's a great place to be.
But let me ask you though,
Yeah,
Jazz. Let me ask you this, right? I just want a yes or no answer, mate. Do we sign this man in the summer? Can you see it
yeah.
happening?
Oh yeah, for sure, because
Yeah,
we could take a risk by not signing him and bringing someone else in, and will he have the
yeah.
impact? Or I mean, he's 28, 29, is he?
28.
Don't think he gets injured that much. I think he's not
Yeah,
bad, and the biggest thing is how he's settled in with the rest of the lads. You know, everyone.
yeah,
And he's our star player, man. He connects our midfield to up front. And I love his movement, James, off the ball. He always wants the ball. He's very pacey, mate, up to a point where we haven't got players apart from Bowen that can keep up with him. You've seen bits where he's bombed down into the area and Tony's still on the halfway line, mate. You know?
And do you know what I like about the man also? He's always playing a forward pass.
Yeah.
He never plays a pass back. It's the Manchester United embedded in him. Like, they don't play the ball back. It's always a forward thinking. Like, many years ago, and we go back to the golden generation of like Alex Ferguson times, anytime they used to pass a ball back, they used to get massive abuse in training. Like, it was like every time you get the ball, you turn, you go forward, you don't go back. So yeah, I agree with you, Jazz. He's been phenomenal.
I think he's always looking for the ball. He's not hiding. He wants the ball, and he gets frustrated. He's always got his hands like, "Give me the ball, give me the ball." So I like that. But, and what a finisher, mate! Antonio should learn a little bit more. Some of the finishes the geezer was doing before Antonio was injured. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But this man, Mr. Saeed Ben Rama, first season in the league, 6 assists, 1 goal. What's your assessment of him this season, mate?
7. I'll give him 7.
Yeah.
Same as Bowen and was the other one? Fornals, wasn't it? Yeah. 7 for them. Yeah, I think again he looks like he's beginning to settle in, and I think he's a popular guy. They like him. Yeah, we'll see next season. I mean, is he gonna nail a position down week in, week out, or is he going to be Fornals slightly ahead of him? But recently we've seen Bowen not being a team, so perhaps him and Bowen will be the ones who'll be fighting for that last spot. alongside Lingard and Fornals, I think. But the potential
Yeah.
is there. He's getting more and more confident, and perhaps he's got to be a bit more greedy himself. He had a couple of shots, I think.
Yeah.
In the last game, I saw one that just went over the bar. He got a goal as well that he was waiting for. So he'll learn. Yeah, everyone settles in differently, don't they? I mean, Watkins has certainly done a bit more. He's in the England squad. He hasn't missed a game. So he'll have to do the same. I think he'll have a pre-season under his belt. My only worry is I'm pretty certain now he's not David Moyes' player. I'm pretty certain now. I wasn't sure before, and that's a worry because I don't know, mate, what's going to happen long term. It's a lot of money to pay someone if you're not sure about him.
I agree. I agree with you. I'm 100% with you on that one. I don't believe he is David Moyes' signing. I think he's been given to him.
Yeah.
And basically, but I agree with you on that rating. Like as you know, I've backed Ben Rama for a hell of a long time this season, but he's not an 8 and he's not a 6, so 7 is a fair rating for me for what he has done. He did score that good important goal against Brighton, and that point really has helped us get into the Europa League, like especially in the circumstances. So
no, but like I said, his assists are good, and he virtually. I think it was Antonio who was very wasteful against Brighton. I think it was.
Yeah,
he put it on a plate for Antonio twice, and he just clumsy.
There's loads of times. Yeah, there's loads of times this year.
He put it on Dawson's plate, and he was like, he didn't even direct it towards goal.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be interesting. Another pre-season under his belt, and perhaps more confidence, and he might go to the gym, build himself up a bit more upper body strength, and then we'll see an even better Ben Rama, I think. But he's definitely a West Ham type of player. He's exciting. He's very, very skillful, and he'll get people off their seats next season, certainly, especially me after a few runs. So
yeah, that's it, mate.
Yeah.
Now,
the only worry with Ben Rama is sometimes when you look at his face, it's not a good sign. He could be fragile. He could be one of those who's not quite strong. That's the worry because David's a hard nut, and he only wants hard nuts around him. So hopefully he doesn't take it to heart too often, where he's been 1 week starting, next week not, back in again, not again. You just got to keep going, mate. You got to show the manager in training that you're wrong, and just keep your head up. I hope he's not one of these players who a bit like Dalieli, a bit soft, and perhaps go into a bit of a stress mode. You see what I mean? I can feel that. I can feel that a little bit in him.
Yeah.
But I know I don't know how much I don't think his mum's with him, his brother's with him. So he's been in London for a while and speaks French. We've got enough French speakers in the team, haven't we? So
we will find out, Jazz. We will find out. But one man who isn't with us anymore is Sebastian Haller. He left in January. I want you to give me a rating, Jazz, of his overall time at West Ham, mate.
Bloody hated the guy. Absolutely hated the guy, mate. Waste of space. Bloody hell. I should have played netball the way he used to carry himself around the ground. I give him 6 out of 10, mate. I mean, complete waste. I hope he sits down one day and realises what an opportunity he's messed up. It's not easy to get moving in the Premier League. I'll be surprised to see him again, and he's just going to mess about in the Dutch league. That's up to him. I, for once, never believe that you need two around him. You got to fit. You got to be strong enough to just because there are occasions, James, where he was through on goal and you just mess it up. There's nothing to do with
fall over.
Nothing to do with the formation.
He would fall over. Yeah.
All the old pundits are saying like, "Come on, mate!" Like Macaroni's like, "Come on, show it a bit more aggression. You're a bloke for look." And Macaroni's like, "If I was the size of him," he goes, he goes, "I used to go around smashing goalkeepers out the air all the time." But if I had his frame, God knows what I'd be doing. But he's just too soft, mate. He just look miserable all the time. Yeah. What a waste, mate. A lot of money he cost us, and I don't even know if we've paid for him. And I don't know, mate. You know, I'm trapped Frankfurt in the Europa. If they ever pay it, I think Sullivan's going to go missing because they're going to bring the bailiffs, aren't they? Where's the rest of our money, mate?
Well, let's hope before he goes missing, he spends some money on some new players. Because this is one player that I'm going to get to now that I think should go, and that's Mr. Yarmolenko. Jazz, he come in with Pellegrini in the Pellegrini era. I think he's run his race, in my opinion. What do you think, mate?
This season? He came in with a lot of pedigree. Played for Dortmund, I think.
Yeah,
Ukraine captain, their penalty taker, one of the best finishers at our club I've seen. certainly knows how to put the ball away. Another good lad, but then he's one of those, I think, a bit like Beckham. I think he's got a lot of things going on outside football that doesn't help. I think he's perhaps has got a supermodel girlfriend or wife. So he's perhaps probably in the news a lot. So for me, I didn't realise how low I was going to go. I've got to give him a 5, mate. I've got to give him the lowest out of everyone. I don't think he's hardly played. I've not seen him all season. So if I've given Fredericks, Johnson, Dupe 6, I can't give it. I've got to give him 5, mate. Just been a complete write-off for me, He just hasn't played. Just been injured. Yeah, nothing, mate. Nothing this season, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I do. I can't. I think 5. I think you're being generous, mate. I'm giving him a 5, but we will move on.
Yeah,
we will move on. And finally for the players, Mr. Antonio.
Yeah, I give him an 8. I give him an 8.
Yeah,
I think he started off well. I think there was a stat saying that since lockdown or around lockdown, he was a top scorer, wasn't he? If you look at the goals before lockdown, previous season, and then he carried that on, didn't he? So I think the stats show that he's very good, but then you don't see how many he misses and how many times he's injured, and he just frustrates us sometimes.
Is it a worry though, Jazz? Is it a worry that this man has so many chances to score a goal? Like it takes him about 5 or 6 chances before he actually scores, so to speak. Like there's been games this year. There's been games this year that we've had games where he could have scored. Like I look at the Burnley game, I look at the Palace away game, look at the Arsenal game. And he's at the post, at the bar. He's at hit a seagull. He's at everything other than the net. I know he scored 10 goals or whatever, how many goals he has scored. But do you think that's a concern? Because he is our only centre forward at the club.
It's too late to be concerned because he signed a long-term contract. He's hit 30, 31. I don't think you can teach anything new to him. He is what he is, and he's not bad. But like you said, luckily we create so much that it looks like he scores and then he gets away with it. But I keep telling even Nicky on the channel, he's not a striker, and he does frustrate me. And the goals and the shots you're telling me where he's hitting the post and the bar, he's virtually on the goal line. And he's the only person that, when he used to score, is always handball. He's so clumsy. He's actually blocked his own shot in one of the games this season, which I've never seen before. He's blocked our own players' shots where he's not got out of the way himself. He shoots out the area for no reason. Oh, what the hell are you doing? He's just he's just so careless in some of the things he does. And then, like you said, out of the blue, he does carry some of the goals that go in. But I'll give him an 8. I think he's scored, been our only striker. He's carried that threat quite well. A lot of it is psychological. When the defenders see that his name's on the team sheet, they instantly don't want to play. I think instantly that's why he gets more space, because they back off. They don't want to get into a tussle with him because he'll snap them in half. So then that helps to create space for others around him and Lingard. But the only thing is, Lingard's form came off a bit when Antonio went up front, and then we just got to think about how to. So my solution is that we buy a proper striker, and then we're going to have 5 players fighting for that spot of 3 behind Bowen, Antonio, Benrahma, Fornells, and so that's where the competition's going to come in. But he's not.
I think, mate, if we buy a proper striker, I think Antonio is good from the bench as an impact sub. I think he becomes even better for us as an impact sub. But I agree with you, mate, totally. Jazz, I've got 3 more questions to ask you, mate. These are my own personal questions to everyone who's come on the channel and doing this. This is the first one. Right, this is best performance of the season. Right, now this is either a player's performance that you've said, you know what, unbelievable, or the best team performance. What is yours, mate?
I think the Leicester game comes to mind, doesn't it? Quite early on, which totally changed the shape of the season. No one saw that coming, and you've seen how good Leicester are. And we were away, I think, and we totally demolished them. That comes to mind. Lingard's had 1 or 2 good performances, hasn't he? Certainly the Villa game. Villa performance was amazing. When we smashed them 3-0, was it? Or 3-1?
3-1.
Like that. Yeah. So it's out of them 2, mate. Pick any out of the Leicester, Villa, and one of the Lingard ones, I think. apart from that, I think, I think it'd be around that. I think you could perhaps pick the Villa one then, perhaps. I think, where Lingard just hit the ground running with his 2 goals, and we smashed a very good team again. Villa are very good back then. They had Grealish, and Kufal again got famous on the back of that game with the Grealish funny cartoons and stuff like that. I'll go for the Villa one because he put him in his pocket and Lingard smashed it and Tony was on form. And we were away to a very tough team who don't let in any goals, mate. They got their goalkeeper. He's in my player of the team of the season. So that one. Yeah,
I agree with you there, mate. 100%. This is a second question of mine. GSB summer winter transfer windows. I want you to give me a rating, Jazz, on the summer window and then the winter window. What you think? Was you happy? Could more be done? Etc.
Okay, the winter one obviously got Lingard over the line, didn't we? Well, that was the only one on the last day, so you got to give it. Well, it kind of fluked it really, and the problem is the ratings because of the manager, not the owners or the money. That's the issue. We've got this far. This season, it's got nothing to do with the owners helping. It's all to do with the manager trying to make the existing ones good. So the transfer window for the winter, Let's give it 7, mate. Let's give it 7 because we only bought 1 player in and he done really well. Yeah, bring another striker in and you're talking 8, aren't you? And then Champions League, aren't you? Really? Yeah. Which I kept on banging about, didn't I? But no one bloody listens. But what
about the summer transfer window? We signed Kufal, we signed Souček, we loaned Dawson, we loaned Ben Rama. What did you think of the summer one, mate? Could more be done?
It's difficult, isn't it? Because everyone who came in has done well. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I got to give it an 8. But
8 out of 10.
Yeah, in numbers we're certainly short, but the ones who are coming in are doing the job. So it's an 8, mate. Yeah, 7s and 8s, but
that's 8, it, mate.
8 in the summer, 7 in the winter. Yeah.
And this is the final question, Jazz, of your player ratings 2020-2021 season. Moyes and his backroom staff. Give him a rating, mate.
Yeah, I've got to give it. I'll give him. Oh, bloody hell. I'll give him 9.
Yeah.
Champions League, I would have given 10. I'll give him 9. Because I think there's still... Because I haven't looked at it. I mean, everyone's new, aren't they? David's been back a year and a half. Backroom team have been here a year. Half the players have only been here a year. Bowen is a new player, roughly. Souček is a new player. Kufal's a new player. Ben Rama. I mean, you look at it, they're all new players. So they've got potential to... Another notch, another 5th place, perhaps 5th or 4th. Yeah. To
sort of play devil's advocate, though, Jazz. Yeah. Do you think though Moyes has to be a bit more, not gung ho, so to speak, but a bit more attacking when it comes to the top boys, like the Manchester Uniteds, the Chelseas, there's a few games this season where he's set up and we've all stood there and gone, what the hell is he doing? Manchester United away comes to mind when we're setting up so negative against a team who had injuries and played on a Thursday night. Do you know what I mean?
He'll look at that. He'll take some things from this season to improve on. It's funny though because when you look at that Everton game, we lost 1-0.
Yeah.
And if David had put 3 at the back, we would have got a point easy because Everton can't score. And then you imagine the fans screaming like, "Why are we playing 5 at the back?" Can you see that side of it? That game, you should have matched them and played 3 at the back, and it would have been 0-0. And you've seen since then, Everton are been pretty crap. They can't score. So sometimes going defensive helps, but obviously in the examples you've shown, it didn't quite work out. Apart from City, who we always seem to do well against, the rest, Chelsea we got unlucky because I think that Rice goal was ruled offside when it wasn't. So we got a little bit unlucky against Chelsea, the bloody gits. But certainly the other games, we could have shown a bit more.
Even Liverpool at home. Liverpool at home is the one where it's another one where I thought, you know what's sort of gone wrong there? Do you know what I mean? It's one of them ones, but as a whole, it's done well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because we've beaten the easy teams. So that was the biggest gripe amongst fans that we mess it up against the lower teams, and I think we ended up with the second best home record in the whole league. I think. So yeah, there's room for improvement. That's why
Yeah,
at least the players will be hungry again and say, "Come on, we can turn it up another notch, and
yeah,
let's see if we can hit fifth, perhaps, or fourth. See how we go." But what I was saying the other day is that after having a taste of what we've had, I don't want to finish. Don't even want to think about bottom 10 anymore. I don't even want to go
yeah,
there anymore. And it's up to Sullivan, mate. You know, I'm gonna
yeah,
sit back, put my feet up, and we'd all put our feet up, including the manager, including the backroom staff and the players. Mr. Sullivan, these 2 months when we're on holiday, you better
yeah,
start working, mate. You know,
yeah.
you better deliver, because we're going to be back on the ground. And I don't want to
Mm,
say what's going to happen to him. You know, he shouldn't happen, whatever
yeah,
happens. But you're seeing what we like, or what our feelings towards him are like. I'm pretty peed off in January. Why, for one
yeah,
reason or another, why, you know, we could have got Champions League, mate. You know, that fourth
yeah,
spot. And he better deliver. And I've been told, Sean was mentioning from Claire and you, 85 million, which I'm surprised with that. Is that really
yeah,
true? Including
yeah.
no Ceylon. I mean, 85 for David Moyes, that is a lot of money for that guy. You know, we can
We
bring
will
him.
see though, Jazz,
Yeah,
isn't it? Though,
yeah,
let's be honest. Like me and you have done a lot of stuff together this year, and we will find out. We will know in this summer what our we'll know this summer what our owners are all about. If they're in it for the money or they're in it for the love, right? We will
yeah,
know. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
But Jazz, that has been your player ratings for this year, mate.
yeah, yeah.
Any final thoughts before we wrap it up, mate?
Not really, just that this window, because I felt
Yeah,
the January one was so important. I
yeah,
think this one, it could be an historical period where it shows which way the club's going to go. I mean, David, even if we buy no one, David can easily finish 10th, but
yeah,
that ain't going to go down too well with the fans, because we've seen what we can do, and Rice will certainly want to at a minimum be in Europe again the following season. So these 6 weeks are going to be very important, I think,
yeah,
in which
yeah,
direction we're going. If he gets 85 million and we can get rid of Anderson perhaps and cut the others we've mentioned and hit the 100 million mark, then I can't complain, because I think a lot of people have lost money, and 8,500 million, I think David can do a lot with that. You know, that's 5 players around 20 million, 25 million each, 22. He'll get something out of that. I think the Slavia Prague striker, if I had to take a guess, I think he's the one coming in, because Slavia Prague are used to dealing with us, and Sullivan likes a long repayment plan, which they're happy about. I think that
yeah.
one's in the bag. I think we're going to get Lingard in. That's about 20 million. That's 45 gone on them two. And then, yeah, perhaps another 20, 25 million goalkeeper we need. But rumours that the West Brom guy is perhaps the one. I don't know. I haven't followed his form, mate, to be fair. He looks like
I'm
a
not.
good guy.
I'm
And
not keen, mate.
I don't know,
I'm
mate.
not keen myself on Mr. Johnson. I really ain't. I see enough in the West Brom game to see that he just wasn't. He just doesn't do it for me. Not to say he can't do it,
Yeah.
but for me personally, I see that. But
Yeah,
Jazz,
yeah.
just to round it up, mate. I want to thank you for all the time that me and you spent together doing match day mornings. It was an
That's all
absolute
right, mate.
pleasure, mate. Yeah, it was an
That's all
absolute
right.
pleasure. Do you know what I mean? I really enjoyed it. We had some good laughs. Jazz pulled out an absolute cracker of a comment. He said that Spurs would probably go for Nuno, the Wolves manager, and he leaves this season, and Spurs are all without a manager. So if Martinez don't go there, I think Nuno might. So if Jazz,
I'm hoping I get Martinez, because I've got no time for the guy. He's just a plonker. I mean,
yeah,
he's one of those snobby little Arteta types who gets jobs that not fully deserve. I could manage Belgium, so could you. When it really mattered at Everton, he couldn't do it.
yeah,
And was it on the back of a couple of years at Wigan? Was it?
yeah,
Nah, not for me, mate. And is that how low the Spurs stock has fallen? They're looking at
yeah.
Martinez.
Well,
You know why? Because Brendan's told them to get lost. They did approach Brendan. He told them, I ain't
yeah.
keep going to you lot. Get
Nah,
lost, mate.
Leicester.
Yeah,
Do you know what? Just to sort of round it off with that, Leicester are a well-run club. Their owners,
yeah,
like, do you know what I mean? I know they keep
yeah,
bottling it, and people keep saying they keep bottling it, but Leicester keep getting better every year. Like
yeah,
every year, they keep getting better and better, and eventually they will get through that door of getting Champions League. And when they
yeah.
do, they can stay there for a long time. So
Yeah, got
yeah,
really good owners, world-class training ground, world-class scouting network. And like you said, they'll do their transfer work in a slick manner in a couple of
Yeah.
days. They don't dilly and dally. Whoever they want is done in a couple of days, mate. We were talking to Fofana for weeks and weeks and weeks. They came in
Yeah.
one day, took him away, job done, mate. You know.
Yeah,
So,
and I think,
yeah.
and that's he's been a top player and all, mate. But Jazz, I want to thank you, mate. I want you to enjoy the summer. And when we all do go back to the London Stadium, I will come down and have a couple of beers with you, mate, and see you. Do you know what I mean? It'd be a pleasure to see you in the flesh, mate. I mean, you've done some good stuff through lockdown, and it was a pleasure, mate. But everyone who's watching, thank you for watching, mate. Subscribe if you're new. Like, share. That has been Jazz's 2020-2021 player ratings for this season. Try and say that for a mouthful. But yeah, absolute top class from Jazz. And I will be back again soon. And take care and all the best. Take care all.